Joining us now to talk more about musicians putting their mental health first is music journalist and author Ian Winwood. Ian, global superstars like Justin Bieber and Shawn Mendes have shelved recent tours to prioritize both their physical and mental health. Looking at the music landscape over the past few decades, did you ever think artists would do something like this?
I think that this is an increasing phenomenon. I think that artists use the term mental health and audiences hear the term mental health, and it can mean all sorts of things. If an artist has reached the point where you or I or a member of the public has heard their name, they are already tough. They have already likely spent years sleeping on floors, playing to no one, freezing their behinds off, getting ripped off, getting rejected, taking the knocks. The people who aren't suited to that life have already been weeded out. What remains are the quote unquote tough guys, gals, straight, of all denominations. So if at that point those people say, I need to take a break, and they use the term mental health, believe them.
What kinds of things happen when an artist tours that make these events such stressors?
I think that audience members cannot reasonably be expected to understand the sort of all-consuming nature of a tour. So all I would suggest is, can you imagine going away, leaving your home for your place of work, and then not returning home for months on end? I think musicians and music makers and artists have traditionally lacked a vocabulary with which to voice concerns that are legitimate, such as being completely exhausted, lonely, having indulged in unwise behavior because there's booze around you all the time, and people will get you other things, if you know what I mean, very easily. It's a very seductive and alienating atmosphere. And if you're in that atmosphere, in that environment for too long, bad things can happen. And history has shown us that time and time again.
And you kind of touched on it in your previous answer, but why are musicians prone to having illnesses like anxiety, depression, and alcoholism, and what can be done about it?
Well, I think traditionally music has always attracted outlier personalities. We know this. We know the Keith Moons, and we know the Sid Vicious and the Janis Joplins. What is happening now, I think, and I've written quite extensively about this, is that the financial makeup of the music industry, which has always been disadvantageous to music makers. It's always them that earn the smallest cut. With streaming rates being so negligible and recorded music essentially being all but worthless, the road is the place where they earn their living. They're out there so long just trying to earn a living. And this is for bands of any professional music maker, really, apart from ones whose back catalogue is so vast that they can earn from that, or have sold their back catalogue for a vast amount of money. They're out there, so even the quote-unquote straightest, sanest people are sort of being driven to the edge and over the edge, because that's now the place that they're earning their money.
And our viewers can hear more of your insights in your new book, Bodies, Life and Death in Music. Thanks so much for joining us, Ian.
And thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Toronto.